Yeah, yeah. You need to finish putting up that stuff here on that. Turn that air off. Turn that air off, please. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد فإن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد, this is the I don't know, 16th or something like that broadcast from the strictly translation of the book Al-La'ali'u Al-Bahi'atu في شرح Alaqeedahtulwaasitiyyah, which literally translates to the glowing pearls or the bright pearls of the explanation of Alaqeedahtulwaasitiyyah. And this explanation is by Sheikh. The original text is by Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, Sheikh al-Islam Abu Abbas Ahmed ibn Abdul Halim ibn Abdul Salam ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala. And the explanation is by Salih ibn Abdul Aziz ibn Muhammad ibn Ibrahim Ali Sheikh hafidhahullah ta'ala. And we're in the section which is basically a methodology of the Aqeedah of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, the Iman of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah concerning Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes. And Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he says, وَمِنَ الْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ, after going over the Iman, the belief in Allah in general, the belief of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah in a general sense, and we covered those, we translated the speech of the Sheikh Hafidhullah Ta'ala, Sheikh Salih al-Sheikh, Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala. He says, وَمِنَ الْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ, part of the belief in Allah, al-imanu bima wasafa bihi nafsahu, believing in what Allah Ta'ala described himself with, believing in those names and attributes that Allah Ta'ala used to describe himself. Wa fi kitabihi, in his book, wa bima wasafahu bihi rasuluhu, and believing in those names that the Messenger of Allah described Allah Ta'ala with, those names and attributes. And then we talked about several principles connected to the names and attributes, and so on and so forth. And then we talked about with the Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. He said, without min ghayri tahrif, without was called tahrif, and we talked about tahrif. ولا تعطيل, and that's we are on this section of ta'til. We talked about some of it last week or a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. ومن غير تكييف ومن غير ولا تمثيل. And all of these, we're going to get into the meaning of these terms and these terminologies. So last week we talked about ولا تعطيل. ولا تعطيل. And the Sheikh Salih al-Sheikh Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, he mentioned the Arabic meaning of the term ta'til. And he mentioned some examples of it, the word or a form of the word ta'til being used in the Quran to illustrate the meaning. And he mentioned that ta'til is different types. And he said the most famous according to the scholars, and he said the most famous types are three. And the first one is ta'til al-makhluq, ta'til al-makhluqi an khaliqihi, denying that this creation has a creator. And ta'til, we said ta'til is a denial. It's a negation, negating Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes, or some of them is called ta'til, right? Even if the negation is to a badal, which in other words, even if the negation, even if they say they're nifty about negating it, they say actually it means A doesn't mean A means Q, right? That's ta'til because you're denying A, attribute A, right? And this is what some of the deviant groups do. For whatever reason, they mention reasons, and if you're not careful, you get caught up in some of their creedal acrobats, right? They do acrobats and gymnastics with their creed, and they go astray. Philosophy. So even if they say they come up with some rationale, and they say that no, this characteristic A actually means Z, right? Once they deny the reality, the real Arabic meaning of the name, khalas, it doesn't matter what happens after that. They denied it. Okay, so the first type of ta'til, the first type of negation or denial of attribute or of the first of the three categories. One, denying that the creation has a creator, and this is the way of the atheists and the agnostics. The second type of ta'til, تعطيل الخالق عن أوصافه التي وصف بها نفسه أو وصفه بها رسوله, denying the creator's characteristics that he has described himself with, or that those characteristics that he has those characteristics that his messenger has described him, meaning the creator, with. And the Sheikh, he mentions that this is the third type is denying the creator, his unique right to be worshipped. Denying or negating the creator's unique right to be worshipped. So these, if you notice, these three types of denial, each of them is connected to a category of tawheed. The first one is connected to tawheed al-rububiyyah, which is denying that the creation has a creator. This is an extreme form of falsehood. The next one is concerning Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes, the Asma wa Sifat, Tawheed al-Asma wa Sifat. The first one, Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. The second one, Tawheed al-Asma wa Sifat, Allah Ta'ala's uniqueness in His names and attributes, His singularity in His names and attributes. Denial of these names and attributes, all of them, or some of them, right? And the third category is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah or Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, which is denying that the Creator some of His unique rights of worship. Barakallahu fikum. The Shaykh, he says, Allah and yu'attala. What's meant by ta'til is the denial of some of Allah Ta'ala's characteristics, or denial of Allah Ta'ala's characteristics, negating Allah Ta'ala from His characteristics, or negating Allah Ta'ala's characteristics from Him. يعني أن يصف نفسه بصفة أو يصفه رسوله بصفة. The Shaykh, he says, meaning that Allah Ta'ala describes Himself with a characteristic, or the Messenger of Allah describes himself with a characteristic, or the Messenger of Allah describes himself with a characteristic. فَيُخْلَى اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ عَنْ هَذِهِ الصِّفَةِ. So this characteristic would be denied from Allah. This characteristic would be denied from Allah. كَأَنَّهُ وَكَأَنَّهُ لَمْ يَصِفْ نَفْسَهُ بِذَلِكَ الْوَصْفِ. As if Allah Ta'ala did not describe Himself with that characteristic. وَلَمْ يَصِفْهُ رَسُولُهُ بِذَلِكَ الْوَصْفِ. And as if the Messenger of Allah ﷺ did not describe Allah Ta'ala with that characteristic. فَإِنْ وَصَفَ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ جَلَبَ لِهَذِهِ الصِّفَةِ لِلَّهِ. If Allah Ta'ala described Himself or Allah Ta'ala is describing Himself with this characteristic, is a reason that we describe this Allah Ta'ala with this characteristic. لأننا لا نعلم أنه سبحانه وتعالى متصف بهذا الصفة. Because we do not know on our own, because Allah Ta'ala is unseen. We have not seen Him, right? So we don't know that Allah Ta'ala is described with this characteristic or that characteristic until He mentions it to us. فأخبرنا الله عز وجل لنعلم أنه متصف بها. So Allah Ta'ala informed us by way of revelation, by way of revelation in the Quran or in the Sunnah. Allah Ta'ala informed us that so that we can know that He is described, that this is a characteristic of His, this is an attribute of His, right? فصار إثباته لنفسه هذه الصفة زيادة علم. So Allah Ta'ala's describing Himself, affirming this characteristic, this attribute for Himself, is an increase in knowledge for us, right? It's an increase. It's a additional knowledge for us that we didn't have before. فإذا نفيت صار ذلك إخلاء لله عن الوصف فصار تعطيلا. So if this characteristic is denied, it becomes it's like removing this attribute from Allah Ta'ala. It's an attempt, right? It's like we're removing this attribute from Allah. We're denying the attribute. We're denying this attribute from Allah. So it becomes what's called ta'til, right? Which is denial or negation of Allah Ta'ala's attributes. فإذا يدخل في المعطلة الذين ينفون وصف الله بكل الصفات كفعل الجهمية. So the Shaykh, he says, included in the mu'attila, this term al-mu'attila, this is a group of the people of innovation. Included in this group, the people who are referred to as al-mu'attila, are those that deny all of Allah Ta'ala's attributes, like the Jahmiyyah. This is like the action of the Jahmiyyah, the people called Al-Jahmiyyah. And this is an ascription to Jahm ibn Dirham, to Jahm ibn Safwan, the individual that denied all of Allah Ta'ala's attributes, his names and attributes. ويدخل فيهم الذين ينفون أوصاف الله غير الصفات الثلاثة المشهورة عند المعتزلة. Also included in the Mu'attila are those that deny Allah Ta'ala, all of Allah Ta'ala's attributes except those three well-known attributes, like the Mu'tazila do. The Mu'tazila, they affirm only three attributes. وكذلك الذين كذلك يدخل فيه الذين يعطلون الله عز وجل عن الاتصاف بغير الصفات السبع المشهورة عند الكلابية. Likewise, included among the Mu'attila are those that negate or deny Allah Ta'ala's attributes, all of Allah Ta'ala's attributes other than 7, like a deviant group called Al-Kullabiyya, وَمَنْ تَبِعَهُمْ, and those that follow the Kullabiyya, like the Al-Asha'ira and the Maturidiyya. These two groups, they also denied all of Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes. وَهَذَا بَابٌ وَاسِعٌ, or except some, right? They only affirmed some of the attributes. The rest they denied. Some 3, like the Mu'tazila, some 7, some 8, so on and so forth. And the Sheikh, he says this is this is something that's going to be discussed later, inshallah. فإذن كل من لم يصف الله بما وصف به نفسه بأن حرف أو أول فقد أخلى الله عز وجل عن الوصف اللائق به كما أخبر. The Sheikh, he says, so everyone who did not describe Allah Ta'ala as he described himself by changing or altering, right, those attributes, has anybody that does this or that, they have denied Allah Ta'ala's they have denied the attributes of Allah Ta'ala. They have denied Allah Ta'ala's characteristics, as Allah Ta'ala has informed. They have denied Allah Ta'ala's characteristics, those characteristics that are appropriate for him, right, as Allah Ta'ala has informed. وَمَنَعَ الْأَخْذَ بِذَوَاهِرِ النُّصُوصِ, and they have prohibited or refrained from taking the apparent meaning of the texts. فإن هذا يعد تعطيلا. This is considered negation. This is considered negation of Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes. If you say, no, I'm not going to take the apparent meaning, I'm not going to take the meaning that this name has in the Arabic language, and say that however this meaning applies to Allah Ta'ala in a way that is appropriate to his majesty, unique to him, not like his creation, right? People who deny this, they say, oh, this is considered ta'til. هذا يعد تعطيلا. فإن أهل السنة والجماعة يخالفون المبتدع الذين يعطلون. أهل السنة والجماعة, they oppose the innovators, those that deny and negate Allah Ta'ala's characteristics. The Sheikh, he says, هل إيمان المعطل بالنص هو حقيقة أم دعوة؟ The belief, the Sheikh, he says, is the belief of the Mu'attila, or an individual, is the belief of an individual who denies Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes. Is his belief in the text real or simply a claim? The Sheikh, he says, it is a claim. The Sheikh, he says the Ash'ari person, or the Maturidi person, or the Mu'tazili person, or the Ibadi person, which is another of the deviant groups, or the Rafidi person, or those like them. They say we believe in the texts. They say we believe in the texts. لكنهم يعطلون النصوص عن معانيها. However, they deny and negate the meanings of the texts. They deny and negate the meanings of the texts. ويجعلون هذه المعاني للنصوص في الصفات راجعة إلى الأوصاف التي يثبتونها. The Sheikh, he said they make the meanings of the text. They make the meanings of the text about Allah Ta'ala's attributes. They make the meanings of the text about Allah Ta'ala's attributes refer to some specific characteristics that they affirm. So we just mentioned how some of them affirm 3 characteristics, some 7. They would, the different groups, they make Allah Ta'ala's names that they deny refer to, or they claim that the names that they deny, they refer them to other names that they affirm, or attributes that they affirm. The attributes they deny, they say these attributes actually refer to these. That's a form of ta'til. If you say that this word, if you say characteristic A, you deny characteristic A. However, characteristic Z, you affirm it. You say A doesn't mean A, it really means Z. This is what they do. فالجهمي, the Jahmi, the individual that's upon the way of Jahm ibn Sufwan, يرجع كل صفة إلى صفة الوجود بجعل الأوصاف والأسماء أثر لصفة الوجود. The Jahmiya, they don't affirm many of the characteristics, or they only, for example, that one of the characteristics they affirm is the characteristics of Allah Ta'ala's existence. So they say that the rest of the attributes, the rest of the attributes are or refer to Allah Ta'ala's characteristic of existence, or they are a sign of Allah Ta'ala's existence, or they are like this, without affirming the meaning of that characteristic. Mu'tazili, the person that is upon the way of the Mu'tazila, they make all of the characteristics. They make all of the characteristics and the names refer to 3 characteristics that they affirm. The person who's Ash'ari or Kullabi, they make all of the characteristics have the meanings of 7 characteristics or attributes that they affirm. So the Jahmi, because they only affirm one attribute, or they affirm this particular attribute, they say the other attributes which they deny, they say these attributes, they deny them. They say these attributes B through Q, or A through Q, A through Y, they deny. Attribute Z, they affirm. They say A is not really an A, it's actually a Z. It's not really an A. Attribute A is not really an A. Attribute B is not really a B. These letters aren't really A's and B's, they're actually Z's. Right? That's what the Jahmiyyah do. Okay? The Mu'tazila, they affirm Z. They deny A through V. Characteristics A through V. They deny. X, Y, and Z, they affirm. So they say A through V are not actually characteristics. They're not letters. A through V only mean either A is an X, a Y, or Z. B is either an X or Y or Z, like this. The Ash'ari, likewise, and the Kullabi, the person that's upon the Aqidah of Ash'ari or the Aqidah of Ibn Kullab, they deny all of the attributes except 7. So they say that these attributes, which they say that these attributes actually mean one of the 7 attributes that they deny. Right? And likewise, Al-Maturidi, the person that's upon the way of Al-Maturidi, they say that they affirm 8 attributes. So they say that all of the attributes that they deny actually mean the attributes that they affirm. Right? So, for example, the Ash'ariyah and the Kullabiyah, they affirm 7 attributes, including life, speech, Allah Ta'ala's sight or seeing, his hearing, his irada, his knowledge, and his qudra. And the Maturidiyah, they affirm one more than the Ash'ariyah, which is takween. So they affirm, in any event, they affirm some characteristics, they deny others, and they say that the ones that they deny actually have the meanings of the one they affirm. They don't care anything about the meanings in the Arabic language. They don't care anything about that. Philosophy is all philosophy to them. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya Ahsan. طيب. The Sheikh, he says, for example, Sifatul Nuzulillah, Allah Ta'ala's characteristic of dissension, his attribute of dissension. Right? We know that Allah Ta'ala in the hadith, that Allah Ta'ala descends the last third of the night. His dissension is in a way that is appropriate to him, is unique to him. It's not like the dissension of the creation. These different people, they deny this characteristic. The person who is Ash'ari, they explain it by saying, نؤمن بأنه ينزل لكن نزوله ليس نزولا حقيقيا. They say, we believe that Allah Ta'ala descends. However, Allah Ta'ala's descension is not an actual, real descension. See? Denial. إنما هو نزول الرحمة والإجابة. It is, in fact, the descension of Allah Ta'ala's mercy and his answering of people. يعني إجابة الله للداعين في هذا الوقت المتأخر من الليل, meaning Allah Ta'ala's answering of the people who ask and supplicate to Allah Ta'ala and make requests. Right? So they say Allah Ta'ala doesn't actually descend. The Prophet ﷺ said, ينزل ربي في ثلث الليل الأخير. ينزل الله تبارك وتعالى في ثلث الليل الأخير. Allah Ta'ala descends in the last third of the night. Allah Ta'ala descends in the last third of the night. They say actually, they say we believe in the nuzul, but it's not actually Allah Ta'ala descending. It's his mercy descending. And it's his answering questions, foolishness. Allah Ta'ala himself descends. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, Allah descends. They say, well, not exactly. That's what they say. That's what they say. We believe, Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, we believe Allah Ta'ala descends. We believe Allah Ta'ala descends in a way that is appropriate for his majesty, appropriate and unique to Allah Ta'ala. It's not like the descension of the creation, nor does the Prophet ﷺ using this attribute for Allah necessitate that it is like the creation. It's not. Allah Ta'ala is not like his creation. The speech of Allah and the speech of his messenger, the revelation from Allah Ta'ala in the Quran and the Sunnah does not necessitate that Allah Ta'ala does not necessitate comparison. It does not necessitate imitation. It does not necessitate Allah Ta'ala the claim that Allah Ta'ala is like his creation at all. طيب فهم يجعلون الصفة راجعة إلى الصفات التي يثبتونها. So they make these characteristics refer to, they say these characteristics refer to some characteristics that they explain. That's how they do. They for rahmatu عندهم إرادة الإحسان. They say ar-rahma, Allah Ta'ala's characteristic of ar-rahma, to them, to the Ash'ariyah, they say it means that Allah Ta'ala wants goodness or kindness for a person. They say rahma. No, there's no such characteristic as rahma, even though Allah Ta'ala has two names, ar-Rahman and ar-Rahim, right? Which, as we talked about, the Allah Ta'ala's names have meanings, right? So every name has contains some characteristics. Every name contains some characteristics. So ar-Rahman and ar-Rahim mean that Allah Ta'ala is described with rahmah. They say ar-Rahmah means iradatul ihsan, Allah Ta'ala wanting al-ihsan. Lima, why? لأنهم يجعلون من الصفات السبع صفة الإرادة. Because one of the characteristics of the 7 characteristics that they affirm is the characteristic of al-irada, Allah Ta'ala having al-irada. والغضب عندهم إرادة الانتقام. And anger, the characteristic, the attribute of anger, according to them, means that Allah Ta'ala intends to decree, right, retribution. Why? Why do they say this? لأن الإرادة عندهم من الصفات السبع. Because the irada, according to them, is one of the 7 characteristics. Irada is one of the 7 characteristics that they affirm, like this. فكل صفة يعطلونها عن معناها الذي دلت عليه اللغة ويقولون. He says, the Sheikh, he says, so every attribute that they deny the attribute, they deny the Arabic meaning of the attribute. Allah Ta'ala mentions that He sent this Quran down in Arabic. They deny the meaning in the Arabic language. They deny the Arabic word, the meaning of the Arabic word. And they say, we believe in the text, but this characteristic, the meaning of this characteristic is one of the 7 attributes. The meaning of this attribute is one of the 7 attributes that they affirm. And these 7 attributes that they affirm is going to be, the Sheikh is going to explain this in detail, inshallah, further into this essay, or this explanation, inshallah. And I think we will stop here. I think we'll stop here. Ihsan, you still there? I think we'll stop there, inshallah, because the Sheikh, after this, goes into the next point, which is min ghayri takyif. So we'll stop there, inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.